Man, listen up. Back in the 90s, they built SUVs that laughed in the face of rust and breakdowns, machines so tough they'd outlast your grandkids' bad tattoos. But here's the gut punch. There's one forgotten beast from that era. A total underdog that hauled more moonshine than most folks haul groceries. And I'll spill its name at the end, only if you ride this out with me. Buckle in, 'cause we're tearing down memory lane like it's a backroad rally. You know the drill here on Gearhead Garage. We're not about shiny brochures or factory fluff. We're the spot where grease monkeys like me swap war stories over cold ones, diving deep into the iron that shaped our souls. If you're new, hit that sub button so you don't miss the next time I crack open a 70s muscle myth or hunt down a sleeper wagon that could smoke your daily. Alright, let's roll. Picture this. It's 91. The Berlin Wall's dust is still settling, and Detroit's churning out these boxy bruisers like they're prepping for the apocalypse. First up, the Toyota Land Cruiser J80. Brother, this thing's the unbreakable anvil of the SUV world. I remember my uncle had one, dragged it through the Baja like it was a Sunday stroll, and 30 years later, that 4.0 inline-six is still purring without a hiccup. It's got that full-time four-wheel drive that bites into mud like a pit bull on a steak, and get this. Aid workers in war zones swear by 'cause they won't quit even when the owner's half crazy from heatstroke, compared to today's featherweight crossovers. This bad boy laughs its body and frame tough, hauls a family of 5 plus their weekend toys, and sips gas like it's optional. Surprise! Folks mod these into overlanders with solar panels and rooftop tents, turning into rolling homesteads that'd make Bear Grylls jealous. Sliding over to the Jeep Grand Cherokee ZJ, the 93 original that flipped the script on what an SUV could be. Before this, Jeeps were all about rock-crawling purists, but the ZJ had dragged luxury into the dirt, with that 5.2 V8 rumbling like thunder in a tin can. I test drove a bone stock one last summer. Zero leaks, zero rattles, just pure American grunt that'd tow your boat to Alaska without breaking a sweat. History nugget. It saved Chrysler's bacon, outselling everything in sight and birthing the whole family hauler with off-road cred craze. Off the wall bit, early models had this quadra-track system that'd shuffle power front to back, smoother than a card shark. And tuned right, it'll drift corners like it's auditioning for Mad Max. Heart in it, hell yam. My first road trip crush was on a Cherry 95, windows down, grunge blasting, feeling invincible. Now, don't sleep on the Lexus LX 450. Speaking of which, the Mitsubishi Montero, 91 to 99 models. The senior trim, especially as a gearhead's, guilty pleasure. Underrated as hell, with independent front suspension that corners like a sports car but climbs like a goat. My buddy's 97 has hauled kayaks, kids, and a fridge across the Appalachians without flinching. Thanks to that super select for WD that lets you switch modes on the fly. Wild tale. In the Paris-Dakar Rally, these things dominated the sands, proving Mitsubishi knew desert survival before it was a TikTok trend. Spark of surprise. Pop the hood, that 3.5 V6 sips premium like water, and parts are cheaper than a Jeep's ego. It's the SUV that says, I'm tough, but I won't make you sell a kidney for upkeep. Halfway through, and we're just warming up, grab that coffee, 'cause the Honda CR-V 97 kicked off the compact revolution without selling its soul. No frills, just a 2.0 four-banger that's more reliable than your grandma's recipes, zipping through city slop or forest trails with a WD that hooks up like magic. History twist. Honda built it to battle the RAV4, but the CR-V1 hearts with space for gear and a ride that doesn't beat you senseless. Juicy detail. Owner's Mod M, with lift kits for pennies, turning grocery getters into trail beasts. Sharp take. In a world of turbo fluff, this thing's simplicity is its superpower. Start it cold at 20 below, and it'll grin back. The Nissan Pathfinder R5096 Vintage is the sleeper king that VG33 V6 growls low and mean, built on a truck frame that shrugs off abuse like yesterday's news. I wheeled one through Utah's Slick Rock last fall. Zero drama, just endless torque for those one more hill moments. Comparison, gold, tougher than a Chevy Blazer, but smoother than a Bronco, with a third-row seat that actually fits adults. Offbeat insight, Nissan's engineers cribbed from their patrol line, so it's got rally DNA, think dust clouds and victory laps. Pulls you in. Imagine loading it with bikes, coolers, and dreams, then vanishing into the wild for days. Ford Explorer 91, the one that made SUVs America's obsession. Yeah, it had Firestone tire scandals, but a well-kept 95 with the 4.0 V6. Runs like a Swiss watch, towing trailers that'd snap lesser rigs. Story time. My old man flipped one after a cross-country haul. Said it felt like home on wheels. With that Eddie Bauer trim oozing 90s cool. Surprise spark. Mod the IFS for real off-road, and it's a budget Wrangler killer cheap, capable, and charismatic as hell. Chevy Tahoe, 95. The full-size freight train that redefined hauling. That 5.7 Vortec V8. Immortal guzzles gas butt hauls, 7 souls, plus luggage, without sweat. History Byte. Born from the Suburban, it shrunk just enough for garages, but kept the truck's soul. Analysis with heart. In snow country, it's God. I've seen him plow drifts deeper than regrets. Fun fact, rappers loved him for that gangster lean, but real folk know it's the quiet hero of family epics. Isuzu Trooper, 92. The boxy warrior with a 3.2 V6 that won't quit trugged as nails. With lockers that laugh at boulders, underdog vibe, overlooked next to Montero, but it'll outlast both. Tail. A Farm Buddy's 94 survived a flood, engine high and dry. Insight, coil springs all around made it ride like butter on trails. And drumroll the hidden gem, the Isuzu V-High Cross 99. This funky lunar rover looker with torque vectoring, AWD, and a 3.5 V6 that's still factory fresh in barns nationwide. Wild claim, it cornered like a Miata on steroids. Shocking rally pros. Why legendary? Built to conquer, forgotten too soon, but revives with a roar that says what if? Who? That's the 90s in your vein stuffed trucks that remind us cars aren't just transport. They're time machines, hauling our stories mile by mile. So, what's your white whale from back then? Drop it in the comments, smash like if this fired you up. Sub for more garage gospel, and share with a buddy chasing that open road high. Until next time, keep the rubber side down. What if one of these relics could save your soul on the next big adventure? Drive safe, legends.